Hey, what's up, everyone? Gaming Hearts 1 here, back with another video, and today I'm going to talk briefly about Persona 4 Arena, which came out back in 2012, and basically it was a fighting game developed by Arc System Works, and it was published by Atlus, and honestly, it was one of Atlus's best fighting games that they have ever put out. In fact, it was probably one of the most underrated fighting games of the early teens, and the thing that really stood out the most about this game was its overall visual presentation, its fast-paced gameplay, the dialogue. There's just so many things about the game that stood out, but at the same time, it got overshadowed by a lot of high-profile fighting games that came out back in the early teens, such as Soul Calibur 5, such as Mortal Kombat 9. You had Marvel vs. Capcom 3 from 2011. You just had a whole slew of fighting games that pretty much overshadowed Persona 4 Arena and I guess the expanded version Ultimax, which came out the following year in 2013. And I believe Persona 4 Arena only had 12 characters when it was first released, and then the upgraded version had somewhere over 20. It had around 22 characters or something like that. But at the same time, this game was actually well done in terms of it being put together and presented to, I guess, casuals, because I do feel like it's a game that casuals can get into, because for the most part, it's not too difficult to learn. It's not like a Guilty Gear game where it's you have to be a hardcore arcade gamer in order to understand the game and how to play it and all that stuff. And I honestly do feel that despite the fact that the game didn't do too well in terms of sales about a decade ago, I do feel like it's one of those games that deserves a 4K remake, potentially for the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, because this game came out for the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox 360 when it was first released. And the thing is, even though you can play Xbox 360 games on the Xbox Series X, some people have played games from that era on the Xbox Series X, and honestly, it didn't look too great. I believe I saw someone play one of the older Fallout games on the Xbox Series X, and pretty much the game was released for the Xbox 360, and it didn't look too well with upgraded frame rates and all that stuff. It just looked kind of weird. But I do feel that Persona 4 Arena or Persona 4 Arena Ultimax definitely deserves a 4K remix for the PlayStation 5 or the Xbox Series X, and hell, even maybe for the Nintendo Switch for that matter, because I do feel that there was an audience of gamers that really didn't get a chance to play this game or anything like that. And nowadays, the Persona series is hotter than it's ever been, because even though Persona 3 from the mid 2000s and Persona 4 and P4 Golden from the late 2000s, early teens, even though they were popular, I still feel like the Persona series is bigger now than it ever has been, especially considering how well Persona 5 has done since its release back in 2016. Now, whether or not we're going to get a Persona 4 Arena 4K remake in the future is very uncertain, but we do know that we're supposed to be getting Persona 3 Portable along with Persona 4 Golden for the PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch on January 19th of this month. And a lot of people feel like it's a long time, coming, because now we're on the PS5 and Xbox Series X, and a lot of people feel like this should have been done years ago, but I guess late is better than never. And I guess between having Persona 4 Arena, remastered with 4K HD graphics, and I guess these games coming out, a lot of people wonder whether or not we're going to get a sequel for Persona 4 Arena, because it's a bit strange that that game was well received by critics and by gaming publications, and yet Atlus never decided to make a sequel for that game after the release of Persona 5. And another thing that people are talking about is Persona 6. When's that going to happen? Because we know for a fact it's going to happen. We just don't know when, because no announcements has been made or anything like that. But Persona 5 is too popular of a game not to have a sequel, and we do know it's going to come somewhere later down the line. It's probably going to be for the PlayStation 5. Hopefully it's not an exclusive. Hopefully it appears on other game systems like the Xbox Series X or PC. We'll just have to wait and see. But I do feel like it's strange that Atlus had I guess they have not made any announcements to remake Persona 4 Arena because it's a game that I think is highly underrated and it definitely deserves some type of remake in some capacity, considering the fact that it's been like a decade since the game first came out.